Duluth by Gore Vidal, Chapter 1. Duluth! Love it or loathe it, you can never leave it or lose it. Those words, in bright, multicolored neon, blaze from atop the McKinley Communications Center Tower, the highest point in busy downtown present-day Duluth. If, as it has been so often said, every society gets the Duluth that it deserves, the United States of America in the last but one decade of the 20th century has come up with a knockout. From the rows of palm trees on Duluth's languorous lakefront to the elegantly better homes and gardens on Garfield Heights to the tall obsidian towers of McKinley Center, 2 million human beings have their being in a dynamo of city where their non-being is provided for in a superbly landscaped cemetery known as Lincoln Groves. All appetites are catered for in Duluth. From casual lakefront sex to warm, meaningful relationships in the ethnic barrios at the glittering desert's edge, there is something, if not someone, for everyone. There is also gambling at the Dude Ranch at the end of brothel-lined Gilder Road, as well as social climbing and contract bridge at any number of private clubs, of which the most exclusive is the Eucalyptus, set on a high hill overlooking the Duluth woods, at whose verdant heart there is a swamp known to insect lovers the world over as a unique macrocosm of insect life. Vermiferous and otherwise, Duluth's proud claim to be the bug capital of the world is no idle boast. Small wonder, then, that Tulsa-born and bred Beryl Hoover has a sense of being home at last as she plumps herself, dolphin-like, beside Edna Harridge, in Edna's reliable old station wagon with the legend, quote, Harridge Realtor, end of quote, on its dusty door. Mrs. Hoover, Edna begins, starting up her jalopy. Beryl. Beryl? Edna? Edna? I am Ms. Edna Harridge. So you are. My mind was elsewhere. Beryl's mind is indeed elsewhere. She has just observed through the frosted glass of the car window. The month is chill February, and though it is only noon, the lights of the aurora borealis fill the entire southern sky like the long, cold fingers of some great metaphor. A number of white men slowly hoist from the frozen ground a black man with a rope that has been slung over the branch of a tree. As the white men all pull together, the black man slowly leaves the ground for whatever afterlife the supreme author may be writing for him. I believe, Edna, that a Negro is being lynched. You'll love Duluth, I can tell. Edna revs up her jalopy's motor. We have excellent race relations here, as you can see, and numerous nouvelle cuisine restaurants. Edna swings into Main Street, glittering from the recent snowfall that has turned Duluth into a winter wonderland, where cars skid, pelvises and femurs snap on the ice-slick pavements, and Edna's brother, the mayor, appeals yet again for all-around good humor as opposed to the more expensive snow removal units that City Hall cannot afford. Good humor he gets, certainly. You are from Tulsa, of course. Edna races through her third red light, then skids on two wheels at the corner of Garfield and Main. This is Garfield Avenue, the promenade of Duluth's elite. Houses range from 100 G's to the chill mill. Bitter, that is, better homes cost more. For me, the sky's not the limit, says Beryl, with a laugh. But of course it is. Beryl is a divorcee come widow with money. A lot of it. The result of having taken oil-rich Mr. Hoover to the cleaners. At least that is the story that she has seen fit to brew it about Duluth, where face value is the universal currency, and the one thing at which everything is taken. figure of some allure. Beryl is addicted to basic black. Even when she goes to her Tulsa office where she personally keeps the books, from time to time, pink lady in hand, she can be seen at one or another of Tulsa's clandestine gambling casinos. She's something of a woman of mystery to the croupiers because she never bets. Beryl is free, except for Clive, her son, whom she adores despite the fact that he has a nose like a flattened baked potato. Beryl is guilty about that nose because Clive inherited it from her, even though a year before Clive's birth, the greatest of all rhinoplastic shores in Century City, Los Angeles, replaced Beryl's baked potato with a tiny pomme souffle of a nose that took by storm all Tulsa, and will do the same in Duluth if Clive does not show up in town wearing her former nose, thereby giving the game away. He must undergo surgery first, she thinks. This is no place for Clive, she murmurs, as the station wagon skids along a wide avenue lined with gracious oaks, whose frozen Spanish moss resembles... What was that, Beryl, dear? What was... Oh, I said that this is really the place to be alive, to live it up. Beryl looks down at the glittering downtown area. On top of the McKinley Communications Center tower, the huge neon sign proclaims, Duluth, love it or loathe it, you can never leave it or lose it. Beryl frowns. Just what does that sign mean about not being able to leave or lose Duluth? I don't really know, says Edna evasively. It's always been there, she adds. Is it true, do you think? Like so many practical people, Beryl likes to ask questions. You must ask my brother. He's the mayor of Duluth. And a real rotter. Edna turns off Garfield Avenue. Here's gracious home number 1. The station wagon hurtles between a pair of Palladian plinths and into a huge snowdrift where it comes to an abrupt halt. Dee, 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 dee. We are buried alive, says Beryl, grasping the point, in a snowdrift. Spring, sings Edna, always the good sport, will be a little late this year. Right then and there, both girls know that they are going to become great chums in the days ahead, as they wait for the spring thaw. Rumor has it, says Edna, making conversation, that you were seen at the Dude Ranch last night. Yes, says Beryl. It is one of the finest gambling casinos that I have ever sipped a pink lady in. Personally, I don't gamble, but I love the sense of drama that you get when a fortune rises or falls on the mere turn of a card or a throw of the dice. I suppose you know that no one knows who actually owns the Dude Ranch, says Edna, opening her window and poking the snow with a finger. The snow is packed absolutely solid. But the Dude, as he is universally known, is numero uno behind the scenes here in Duluth. He is known as the Will-o'-the-Wisp, says Beryl, back in Tulsa. Sometimes I think that I know who, if not exactly what, he is, says Edna, somewhat kittenishly, under the circumstances. Yes? Asks Beryl, pointedly. Then tell me his or her name. Chapter 2. Captain Eddie Thorough of the Duluth Police Department, known to everyone as the DPD, is bewildered. He sits at his desk, holding the telephone to his ear with his arthritic shoulder. A painful business, but Captain Eddie is into authenticity, and since that is the way that the police chief in the new television series Duluth does it, that is the way that he is going to do it. Captain Eddie's speech last June on role models to the graduating class of Duluth's Huey Long High was all about role models. And a lot more, too. He is quite a guy, Captain Eddie. Everyone agrees. In fact, many people think that he would make a swell mayor. As it happens, he is one of those many people. Opposite Captain Eddie is a map of Greater Duluth, showing the winding Colorado River that empties into palm-lined Lake Erie, as well as the primeval woods and the shimmering mirage-filled desert that begins just to the east of the city. At the point where the Colorado River intersects with the desert, there's a bright red thumbtack. This is where the spaceship landed on Christmas Day. It is now February, and the spaceship is still there. To everyone's surprise, no one or no thing has ever come out of the spaceship. Worse, no one has been able to get inside the ship or even to make radio contact with the extraterrestrial aliens within. The thing just sits there in the desert, a block or so to the east of ethnic Kennedy Avenue, where the barrios begin. You say, now, I hope I got this straight. Captain Eddie's voice is deep. The police chief in Duluth can't pronounce his R's. Captain Eddie can and does. That the FBI will not send a crew to determine what to do about this spacecraft filled with illegal aliens. As Captain Eddie listens to the voice from Washington, he squints his eyes the way that the well-known actor Ed Asner does on television. In the chair opposite Captain Eddie sits Lieutenant Chico Jones of Homicide. He is black, a token black, some say. But not Chico. He prefers the word colored to the word black. Chico is old-fashioned. He is not only wife trouble, but money trouble, too. He cannot meet his mortgage payments, thanks to the high interest rates. To make ends meet, Chico, like most of the guys and gals in the DPD, sells key rings, tourist mementos of Duluth, and angel dust on the side. But competition is stiff. Ends never do quite meet, except with his buddy, the spectacularly beautiful blue-eyed blonde goddess, Lieutenant Darlene X. Homicide. As they drive aimlessly about Duluth, they are, each agrees, good for each other. At least once a week, Darlene handcuffs Chico to the steering wheel of their police car and abuses him verbally. He likes this. He also likes it when she pounces on illegal Mexican workers in the kitchens of the better Duluth restaurants and strip searches them, all the while thundering out her own version of, quote, give me a pig's foot and a bottle of gin, end of quote, which is, quote, give me a piece of okra and a pair of prunes, end of quote. Darlene has great humor. It is her dream one day to open a boutique just across the border from Duluth in Mexico so that, quote, Chico, end of quote, could visit her on Sundays. They have been lovers for a year. Chico's wife suspects the truth, for what it is worth. Captain Eddie slams the phone down. No dice, he snarls at Chico. This is our show, they say. Our spaceship. In that case, why not just forget about it, Captain Eddie? Chico has a way with him. Even Captain Eddie has to admit that. You mean just forget about it? Captain Eddie looks very thoughtful indeed. Then he gets up and goes over to the map and with his right thumbnail He pries the red thumbtack out of the map. Good thinking, Chico. How is Darlene? Chasing wetbacks. Captain Eddie looks at the red thumbtack that he is holding in his hand. All we have to fear now, he says slowly and thoughtfully, is Wayne Alexander of the Duluth Blade. Duluth Switchblade, snorts Chico scornfully. The DPD does not like the numerous exposés of police brutality that Wayne Alexander has written over the years for the city's one newspaper, which is admittedly read only for its one ads and department store sales. But then nobody has read much of anything in Duluth since the day that KDLM TV broke into the big time as the ABC affiliate and flagship for the Great Lakes and Tijuana area. Overnight, the 6 o'clock news out of the McKinley Communications Tower was able to achieve demographics so colossal that the Blade has all but folded. The news team at 6 o'clock news consists of one Oriental female, one Occidental male, and one paraplegic Polynesian. A first for the greater Duluth area, particularly in sports, where Leo Lucaloni is popular not only as an interviewer in the dressing rooms of the Duluth Tigers, but as an occasional first base at charity games. These three anchor persons preside over a program of city fires, conflagrations, and holocausts beyond anything known to the rest of the country. That many of the fires are secretly set by the news team is an open secret in Duluth, where not only are grateful landlords able to collect insurance on prime time, but Captain Eddie Thoreau is able to go on the morning show at least once a month for 3 minutes to discuss his department's ongoing investigations of the fires. As Captain Eddie thinks of Wayne Alexander, he loses his nerve. He puts the thumbtack more or less back where it was on the map originally. Little do Captain Eddie and Chico suspect what extraordinary events have been set in train by Captain Eddie's removal, even for a moment, of the thumbtack representing the craft from outer space from the map of Greater Duluth.